Paige, like this year, basically had 3-point share of the floor between yourself, KK, and Nika. How has that ball handling flexibility kind of allowed you to develop other parts of your game offensively? Like today, for instance, we saw you really going to work in the post.
Yeah, I mean, to have 3 ball handlers, like people who love to have the ball in their hands of this nature, you can go to anyone, KK, me, Nika, and you're going to get good offensive production. So me just sort of, I guess, being the bigger of the 3, sort of just trying to embrace that power forward role, especially with our undersized lineup, and continue to develop my games in different ways. I pride myself on always finding something to work on, always something that I can get better at my game. So kind of developing, like you said, a post game, and just trying to score and create in different ways without having the ball in my hands has been something I've been working on.
Paige, you were on the bench with 4 fouls. They cut the lead there early in the fourth quarter, and then you guys closed on like 18-4 run. So what was the difference, and what was your mindset getting back in the game there in the fourth quarter?
Just to remain aggressive. It's easy to sort of get tentative when you have 4 fouls, so I was trying to balance being smart with also staying aggressive. And then just us locking in on the defensive end and getting out in transition, trying to get easy buckets and executing our offense, getting good flow, changing sides of the floor, and making them work as they make us work on the defensive end. So just slowing down, getting great shots versus good shots, and really locking in on defense.
Aaliyah, can you just talk about how physical the game was? And you yourself, you just seemed like you just kept on working through it and pushing through it. Is that a sign of your maturity? I mean, you didn't get flustered even though you're getting banged around all game.
Yeah, we anticipated that going into the game, but we've been from practice just playing our game, making sure that we get that carryover from practice, building good habits. I think that one of our emphasis was on the defensive end, and starting the game we did pretty well, stopping them, not letting them get anything easy, and it was on the offensive end that we just needed to translate that over. But yeah, we knew it was going to be physical. I knew it was going to be physical from the last game, so I think that we kind of set the tone defensively. I was able to draw a couple of their players into foul trouble, so I think that helped us and put us to advantage. So.
Paige, I know it was highlighted at halftime, and maybe sometimes people take for granted how much you all have on your plate. Getting back from Midwest at 8, go to early classes and still have your academics where you guys have it. How do you do it? How do you, maybe you can all weigh in on this too, but how do you balance the academic side with all the demands on your time that playing basketball has?
I think it's just extremely, an extreme focus on time management, and maximizing our free time and off days and trying to get work done on those days. So practice days and full class schedule days aren't as loaded. But I think it's just the culture that we have here at UConn. We demand excellence in everything that we do, and they prepare us in that way to be professionals in the classroom, on the court, off the court. So it's kind of just what is expected of us, and we all take pride in school. So it's easy for us to demand that of ourselves. But I would say a lot of time management as well.
KK, how much emphasis was on that when you were being recruited, that this was going to be a part of the group here?
No, it was a big thing, and having a meeting with our academic advisor, Ellen, that was a big emphasis of how much time would be spent off the court and how much time we would get to study, actually. So having study hall either after practices or like when we come back from road games or something like that really helps us in terms of like studying if we didn't have time, of course, during the day, like we have a game or something. But, definitely those things really, I would say, help the whole freshman group in terms of, us adjusting to college level academics and everything, so.
For Aaliyah, what goes through your mind when you are drawing those fouls and they are playing physical on you?
Just playing my game, playing smart. Don't let them speed me up or anything like that. So I think I did handle that well. But as I said before, just setting the tone, and I knew that it was coming. So just being the aggressor.
KV, we saw you go hang out with the student section a little bit at the end there. I mean, just what was that moment like for you? What was it like to get to hold your first Big East trophy as a Husky?
Yeah, it was a good experience. Honestly, it was heavy, so my arm got tired a little bit. I had to give it up. But going over to my student section was really fun. Not being able, of course, sometimes to not go over there and hype them up. So that was a pretty fun moment. So.
Aaliyah, I'm going to follow on the academic side. You had your senior All-Americans on, being honored at halftime, your true freshmen being honored at halftime. What does it say about the culture of this program that what you guys learned maybe from upperclassmen that you do now that you're trying to pass on to the younger players on the academic side of things?
It says that we're student athletes and we excel both on the court and off the court.
Okay, Mike.
Paige, you had 31 points and 0 assists. Gino said he thought that was awesome. I know he's big on you considering yourself the best scoring option out there. But what do you think of that, balancing all that?
Well, I mean, obviously everybody who's watched me since I came in as a freshman, anybody who watched me in high school, I love to pass the ball. I love to create for others. It's not like the opportunities didn't present themselves. I felt like we didn't shoot that great on offense, which has kind of resulted in the final score. But then us locking in on defense and winning that way. But just trying to find the balance of sometimes, I have to take over the game, create for myself. I feel like the more that I'm aggressive on offense, looking for my shot, that's when other people get open. So again, it's just the story of my sort of UConn career is trying to find that balance, and trying to please coach in that way, which is kind of impossible, but it always gives you something to work on.
Paige, Ashley and KK are going to be going into the first postseason run. What are the types of things you're kind of telling them mid-game to kind of keep a positive frame of mind and instill confidence in them, especially because you're going to need them going into the postseason?
Yeah, just to remain confident, remain fearless. I've talked about this freshman class just being a fearless class, just going in, impacting the game on both ends of the floor, contributing, and having the responsibility on their shoulders of not being freshmen. So just for us, upperclassmen especially, to just let them know that the heavy weight is on us seniors to carry that load, and they just got to do what they do, and that's play hard on both ends of the floor, just contribute to winning, which they do every single game. But just trying to let them know that we have extreme confidence in them, and we just want them to play their game and remain who they are.
Paige, as a team, what did you guys do to limit Lucy Olsen?
I mean, it was a huge emphasis in the shoot-around and practice before the game of just trying to make shots tough for her. It's obviously Nika does a great job, but it's like as a team we have to guard her. They set a lot of screens for her, and their offense is moving constantly, and they're very disciplined in their offense. So us communicating on switches, on ball screens, on away screens, and just trying to make every shot she takes difficult. Always have a hand in her face, and make sure that she gets no easy opportunities. But Nika's the head of the snake, and then everybody has to follow suit and help her out.
Paige, do you need some other player to step up besides you and Aaliyah to be a third scoring option, or can that be someone different every game, or are you guys enough?
I think anybody on any given night can be a scoring threat for 20-plus points. It's just about us getting good movement, good flow on the offensive end. I feel like we haven't shot the ball as well lately compared to like mid-season but no, we're extremely confident in every single one of us that steps out on the floor can be a scoring threat. Obviously, me and Aaliyah's two-game has been something that has been developed for a while, and I think we have great chemistry there. But and on any given night, I feel like anybody can be a scoring threat.
KK, with Paige, and I'm sure other people have told you how important it is to be fearless and confident. How important is it for you to have a defensive game like you did today, like when Nika's out of the game and somebody needs to step up and guard Olsen? you kind of filled that rather than worry about whether you were scoring or not.
Definitely, that was a big emphasis, of course, when Nika went out, keeping the energy up on the defensive end because, like Paige and Leah said, that was mostly what, had our energy going, was our defensive intensity, our scores down there in transition and things like that got us going. But, of course, when Nika went out, it was my goal to, not let Lucy score or anybody else score. Switches, communication was a big key, of course, when Nika's in. That's a big emphasis of what she has, her presence, her communication, and everything else, and, calming the team down. So that was one of the big emphasis that I tried to take on as she went out the game. So.
KK, over the season, working with Paige in the backcourt, what are the types of things you've kind of learned from her that you maybe try to input your game, whether it's maybe looking at different reads or controlling the pace of the game? Like, what kind have you taken away from this season under your belt?
Definitely just watching Paige's pace of the game. Times that when she speed up or slow down off ball screens, reading what passes she makes. Because some of the passes, I'm like, dang, that's crazy. But seeing different things like that and just watching her maneuver through off the court, defensive end, of course, as well of offensive end. So just watching her this season has been a great help to me, and ongoing next 3 years as well after this. So.
Thanks, everyone.
Huh?